Well, happy Yuletide.
Happy Yuletide.
So excited. We started a few minutes early, but that's okay. I don't mind.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We get all the giggles out this way for the first 2 minutes.
Exactly. And we get to be goofy and smiley because it is Yuletide time. Or as they commercially like to say, Christmas. Christmas.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It is. And 10 days till
Till
winter
today.
solstice.
Yeah,
10.
10 days. I know. So
Wow.
how do you focus and get back into the Christmas or the holiday or the Yuletide or whatever version of it you celebrate? How do you embrace it? I mean, for me it's trying to remember all the Christmas songs from my childhood, learning all the new pagan versions, which I'm really loving, which is fun.
Yes.
Um and getting ready to make cookies with my mom,
Oh, that's so awesome. I
right?
like that.
Because
I mean,
she's
for
the
me, it
same.
changes from year to year,
Yeah.
you know. But lights, getting different colored lights around the house.
Mhm.
And, I'm a witch, so more candles.
Yeah, I was gonna say candle
I,
spells.
I tend to kind of make some candles around
Oh,
this time of
fun.
year too, if I have the time. And setting up the Yule altar, which I have scheduled to do tomorrow.
Yay.
Um, it will, but yeah, that. And, I try to avoid the general Christmas music, although it can be
Mhm.
difficult when you're going into, a shop or around town,
Yeah.
because I do tend to prefer my pagan music. And
Yeah.
I do admit that I probably play Jethro Tull Ring Out Solstice Bells a little loudly in the car this time of year.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
time for that, though.
but it helps. And, one thing for me this year that I've been finding has helped is I'm watching all the really fun dog related Christmas
Ooh,
things that are going on.
okay.
Like there's this pair of dogs, the Chocolate Lab, the Old Lab, and I love them. And they have an advent calendar, and the advent calendar has activities for them to do each day. And it could be anything from them making um, Christmas cards to going to see the Christmas lights to
Oh,
baking
fun.
cookies and bringing them to their nanny.
Yeah.
But it's just really fun. So things like that, and just things that are totally distracting me from everything else that just feels weighty right now.
Yeah.
And not getting stuck in the mire of the weight.
Mhm.
But even that constant, the showing up and being there, even if we're doing that in a quiet way,
Mhm.
that still takes a certain amount of energy and focus. And when you're looking at being a part of like the resistance, yes, but part of what's helping to also propel things forward and keep things moving,
Yeah.
and keeping hope there,
Yeah.
um, that
That's a
can
big
be a
one.
little daunting from time to time with everything
Mhm.
that's going out, and also all these fun videos that people are putting out with their animals is awesome this year.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I've been watching a lot of babies reacting with small animals, which is very fun, and
yeah,
watching them giggle, even when some of them, and I find out later, of course, that some of them are AI. But you know what? They bring me joy. I'm not sharing them with everybody, but I'm like, oh, that's not right. Okay, but still, it's cute, and the baby's giggling.
right, right.
You know, but at the same time, just looking around and trying to clear out the old stuff and get stuff
Hmm.
fresh for the new year. And then working on like how do I want to celebrate it versus for myself versus my family. Because again, I do have the extended family going, okay, so where are you going this year? Are you going to our house or their house? Because we have the in-laws as well as my parents. So and then I've also got the pull from my East Coast family going, when are you coming to visit us? And
Yeah.
so I've taken care of them and sent them off a nice little present that I know they will enjoy, um, because they do a holiday party every year on my birthday, generally speaking, because it's the
Aw.
middle. Um, but and you know, it's just trying to figure out how do I want to celebrate it versus, the commercialism and stuff. So this year I've been making gifts for people,
Beautiful.
more than I can, and trying to make them as fast as I can because I'm running out of time. Um, and then something my mom did is she had really a lot of fun doing it last year. She's like, "Can we do it again this year?" And I'm like, "What's that?" She's like, "Can we make cookies to give to everybody?" I'm like, Sure." So today the cookie makings arrived that she's
Nice.
so she's like, "Okay, when are we doing this?" And I'm like, "You can come over on Saturday. Let's make cookies." So
Good.
to do that, to just kind of okay, and then like here's some for this family, this part of the, and very very silly fun things like that.
Yeah.
Um, but also spiritually taking some time just to sit in quiet and enjoy a candle, just one, and just doing some quiet communion with myself when I can,
Right. Yeah.
which is hard when you come home from work and I do an 8 to 5 every day and Monday through Friday, and it's like, okay, what am I gonna do? I want to just sit by myself and curl up in my bed and be warm, because that's the other thing at this time of year is that curl up and be cozy and not go with anywhere, not talk to anyone kind of moments.
Yeah. Yeah. For me this time of year, I feel the muses of creativity hit this
Oh,
time of year pretty strongly for me. And I think it's because so many people and so much of the world is coming in, right? It's a
mhm.
quieting time, it's a blanketing time. And I
Yeah,
think that, and they're probably always their opinion at me. I think I'm just more acutely aware of them at this time because it's a little bit more quiet.
that makes
Um,
sense.
so try to sit with that and just make some and jot some notes because I get so many ideas and they'll distract me from what I really need to be working on.
Hmm.
So I just did a blog post about how I have a box on my desk and I call it the nun. It's the whirling nun. And I just, anything that's in there, I just write it down. If it's an outline,
Okay.
I'll draw a sketch or something. And I throw it in there because it's all stuff I can work on later. I can write short
Ooh,
stories about or anything like that later. And I actually, Mary doesn't call herself to call hers the nun. I can't. She is because she likes my idea. But Mary Kay Greer is the one who told me. She goes, "You're working on a writing project." She's like, "I've got this box on my desk, and that's where all the other stuff goes. That's going to distract me from what I'm supposed to be working on."
that makes sense. That's a good
So
idea.
it birthed from conversations, creativity, and writing with her.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a big part of it. And the other thing that I really like playing with my tarot decks this time
Yeah.
of year. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like playing with them all the time. But I mean, you and I, people know this if they've been paying attention. You and I love the Rockpool series,
Me too.
Seasons of the Witch,
Yes. Especially how shiny it is. I
and
love.
the shininess. So, of course, I have my Seasons of the Witch Yule deck out, which I know you have yours. Yes. And show people how shiny those edges are. Look at that, man. Yeah.
Shiny.
And they hold up really well, folks. Just so you
Oh
know
yeah.
that they really do. That
They're
holds up very well on these cards.
yeah, I've had these for a little while and I've just
Yeah, and
masturbated on them.
last year I got my hands on Christopher Hughes' Yuletide Tarot.
Ooh,
Love
nice.
the deck. Right here, I'll show the box to
Yes,
everybody.
please.
You can see it.
Ooh, nice.
I mean, and then the book is a little different.
Yeah.
Which is one thing that I kind of like that Llewellyn's been doing because the guidebooks will be called something that coincides with the
Mhm.
title, but they're different. So this is called The Magic of Midwinter.
Ooh, I like that.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. And of course it's the beautiful full color
Oh,
books
yeah.
that Llewellyn does. But I really like this tarot deck. And yes, I know I could use it anytime I wanted to throughout the
But it's
year, but
better to do it around this time of year.
better
It feels good.
it is. It feels really good. Actually, here's the backs of the cards.
Well, see, yeah, that's that wintry evergreens, holly feel to it.
Yes, and it's inclusive. It's not just all white people. It's not just all
Well, that's
straight
good.
people. It just feels good.
Yeah.
It just feels really good. So, like, okay, the candy canes are swords. So
Oh,
check this out, okay? For four of canes or four of swords.
oh, oh, that's
Now, for someone who
beautiful.
loves a little darkness, right? Having
Yeah,
that in a cemetery, yes.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, I do. I enjoy that. Sometimes I'll even try to pull out like a really cool, like dark
Yeah,
gothic kind of deck this time of year too.
yeah, because it addresses the dark shadow time. Because
Yes.
we're in that space right now. We're in that liminal space of being in the dark because it's not time for the light yet. That's what, Yule and Imbolc comes about.
Right. Right.
So this is the perfect time for the darker decks. I love that. Hadn't thought of that, even though I have them all the time. I just kind of, but that's because I use them all the time, I guess.
Yeah, and then I know that we've had friends of ours that are following the Sunweight tradition.
Oh yeah,
Well, yes, yeah, I know. Jenner Ball is one of the ones who's doing it, and John Hyatt, and I know she got the idea from John.
yeah.
And it's where you have all the weeks starting in December, and then all the
Oh
way
yeah,
through up to right. So there's something to do, and there's different ways you can light candles for it. There's different
right.
ways that you can honor it, and I love what Jenna's doing this year. Last year, she got herself books and
Okay.
wrapped them. Right, so she doesn't
Yeah.
even know what they are at this point. So now this year, she pulled that stack of books out, wrapped books
Oh.
out. So like each week, she gets online and she does a live on Instagram,
Oh,
and she
cool.
unwraps the book and she goes, "This is the book I'm reading this week," and they're fun. And she got, they've all been kind of holiday themed,
Yeah.
winter holiday themed, but she has just come up with some really interesting things. There've been some mysteries, some adventures. I think there was a romance, which cracks her up because romance and stuff isn't necessarily her preferred genre.
Yeah, but it's
Um, but it's fun, and to all just be part of what this whole practice, right? So it's like creating a ritual and doing
right.
something different. Because sometimes that's all it is, right? To help us through, to help us either build momentum for a season if we
Right.
feel we choose to, or to help us through whatever our feels or thoughts are doing a certain time.
Yeah.
Getting some sort of pattern that brings us joy
Yeah.
just helps us all the time. So
Yeah, I know, I hear you. And for me, I just was obviously, as you do, looking at social media and found a real cool practice that I'm going to try and start this year, which is it's called a 12 wishes jar. And you can do it anytime, but the one that we're talking about for right now is that you write these 12 wishes on slips of paper. You put them in a jar.
mhm.
And then starting on Yule, and mind you, the papers are all folded up so you can't see what they are. You reach in, pull one out, you don't look at it, and you burn it.
Hmm.
One every day until January 1st, and then you'll have one left, and that's the one for your whole year. That's the one you focus on. And then
Wow.
the rest be taken care of by the ancestors
Okay, I love that.
and guardians, because that way you know what you need to focus on. That was the one thing that needed to be dealt with in this coming year. So I was like, "Whoa." And my thought was my husband and I would each do our own, like, it wouldn't be the same. I
Right.
think, having something
Sure.
personal that you're supposed to be working on is good.
Yes.
And it's always fun to watch everybody else is doing their different activities. I know that folks are pulling out their Yule tarot and their Christmas this and their this oracle or that oracle. So it's always fun to see also the new ones that I try and collect what I like, but that can't have everything. I have enough for now. And so it's always fun to see what new things are coming out. And there's one new deck coming out from Rockpool, our friends at Rockpool, which I'm looking forward to. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's out yet. I haven't seen it yet outside of advertisements. And it's the Winter Tarot, but it gets you from Yule to Imbolc.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
excited
And
about.
I do believe this is going to be a series of tarot decks that come out kind of
Oh,
quarterly,
oh, nice.
right? That kind of marry nicely with the Seasons of the Witch Oracle.
Yeah.
So that's my I'm just guesstimating on
Right.
this
But the
because
idea
that's what it appears like they're going to do, and it would make so much beautiful sense for them
oh,
to,
yeah.
for it to be that way.
Well, and
So
it would also be another layer to add to ways to embrace the season
absolutely,
and give you
yeah,
more to play with in that moment. So I'm really excited
yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
that'd be great. That's really good.
So, um, all right. I know it's not your favorite time of year, but so you what besides the Yuletide song that you mentioned earlier, what would be one song you do enjoy around this time of year that you want to like just
I
share with
like
us?
I like the holly and the ivy
Okay.
quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I actually like, and this is because it has a lot, I think, of childhood warmth and emotion attached to it. I
Yeah.
really like the Little Drummer Boy.
Ah. So you
Yeah.
would lose the L what is
And
it?
now I like the right the the
There's the
Sting and Bing Crosby version. Yes, that one is awesome.
yes. Um
Um,
and I'm gonna correct you. It's
oh,
David Bowie.
it's David. Yeah, thank you. I was like, I
I
know it
wish
wasn't
it were
Sting. Why
Sting.
did
That
Sting
would
come
be
out of my
awesome.
mouth? Right, David Bowie, and
But Sting does a beautiful Gabriel's message.
that's why it was in my. That's why Sting was in my head because I was going to say for newer ones, Gabriel's Message, Sting. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That is very much for me as well. My favorite, of course, is God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. And having been a caroler with the local Dickens fair for a very long time, it always like I always fall into that or Three Ships,
Oh yeah,
Song
Three
of
Ships
Ship,
is a good one. Yeah, 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 yeah.
and but and I try to not embrace too much the more commercialized ones. I'm sorry, Mariah Carey, please stay frozen for another year. Um, I, of the modern ones, I love Gabriel's Message. I love the Coventry Carol. But I also had that album, A Very Special Christmas,
Yeah,
when it was a thing. And then of course you cannot live without having Christmas in Hollis. I
you
mean,
have to have
Run
Crystal
DMC.
Hollis.
Run DMC
And
is
I do like DJ Play Me a Christmas Song, Cher.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And of course the phenomenal, the always I appreciate you, Madonna, however, Eartha Kitt and Santa Baby.
100%. That's
You
the
know,
one.
I
That's the one.
appreciate Madonna, but it's Eartha. It's always going to be Eartha Kitt.
Yes,
You know, no matter who comes after, she was there first. Um,
I agree.
and but again, it's that time of year of celebration and also embracing the cold and the cozy and the quiet and the beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. I think too, there's been different things that I hadn't realized that I do this time of year that I
Mhm.
always have.
Right.
And one of them is kind of like prepping, like, my word of the year, which is something I started doing about 12 years ago.
Hmm.
And I just like without thinking, I work on choosing that during this time of the year. I look to do my year ahead tarot spread.
Yeah.
I'm tending to do that all around between Yule and New Year's
Yep.
Eve. And even things like kind of setting up my calendar.
Hmm.
I've got a couple different types of journals or notebooks that I keep. So
Mm.
I've started kind of setting up each of those for
Yeah,
the coming year.
yeah.
Yeah, so but and those to me are like those quiet personal rituals.
Hmm.
Um,
The
yeah, and
quiet space.
I do have a lot of really really good childhood, young adult, memories around
Yeah.
Christmas and around this time of year.
Yeah.
So I will, I go in and I just think about those and I pull those up and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like things. Yule log. Yule log was always a big thing for me growing
Yeah.
up. It's still a big thing for me. I love making my own Yule logs now. So I'll make one. So I'll make one. I'll have it on the altar for tomorrow as I'm changing the altar. That'll be a new one for this year, and then we will end up burning it.
Uh-huh.
And we usually take that, we use that as our first log in our Beltane fire.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one of the things that we do. Are you a Yule log person?
Sort of. My first thought when you said that was, yes, we make those all the time. We put chocolate and all of the that's where I went, honestly.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, because again, that was a big part of the feast is that Yule log as well, not just the one that you burn, but the piece that you everybody gets a slice to take in the flavors of the season.
Right.
Um, and trying to get the perfect roll is always fun. And I don't try anymore. I've watched enough British Bake Off. I know I'm not going to be, all Hollywood approved, but that's okay. Mary Berry will enjoy it. It'll taste yummy. But also doing the Yule log with friends because the group I'm a part of, we gather and we do wishes and tie them around the Yule log and then burn the Yule log
Hmm.
for the year. And that is, putting your wishes out into the world, which is really kind of fun to do because then, you've done it as a group and you're also sharing some Yule goodness with others who are part of your chosen family. And that's a big part of this holiday for me too, is yeah, I'm very fortunate. I have decent relations with the blood family that I am connected with, but I also have some really special chosen family. And it's making time for them too, because they are part of how I became who I am. So, reaching out and sending out notes and connecting and, making sure everybody is okay or, as okay as they can be. And then sharing different thoughts and like remembrances of the year and things that they brought into my life and that I can share back and say thank you for being this person who did this thing, like the crazy lady I talk to all the time who edited my articles for months and months and months and years and put me on covers and then at the same time does this crazy thing with me, and I get to embrace that thank you and make sure she knows. And then the other people that we do our daily stuff with, being grateful and sharing a little piece of my heart with them as well. It's not about what I expect someone to give me because I don't, but it's what I can say thank you to other people.
Right. Yeah, and again, kind of piggybacking on that idea, the blessings and the gratitude, and thinking about that and taking the time to do that. Um, Callie and I, throughout the year, we have a jar that sits on our kitchen
Mhm.
island, and it's our gratitude jar. So anything that we
I
feel
saw
like is a
that.
blessing, or yeah, you saw that jar.
I saw that
That's
jar.
what that jar is.
Okay.
So we'll have, I have colorful pieces of paper just on a pen, next to that jar. And when we think something that, crossed our mind that we're like, grateful for, or something that, came into our lives we weren't expecting, like those little blessings, we write it down, we throw it in there. And so that it contains all of that blessing for the house and for our,
Yeah.
our own little family for the year. And then we will burn them. Now, it depends. Sometimes we'll do it on Yule, but it can really depend on the weather. Like right now, we're
Yeah.
having these weird atmospheric rivers come through
Yeah, you don't wanna do that.
Washington. So if it's raining, we won't have our fire out back. But as soon as we have a dry day that we can do that, we will do that. And we sit there and we open them and we read them. And then so then for us, it's like all of that energy of
Yeah,
that, the
yeah.
gratitude and those blessings are being released back into the
Oh, it's
universe to be
beautiful.
recycled again. So
Yeah, and it what goes out comes back.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. Thank you.
I know we were talking about end of year, readings. There's a couple that I do. I don't know what ones you do, um, but I do 2, and one I started on my own before I really understood doing yearly readings and all of that, and what I would do is, like, I would split my tarot deck into majors and minors, and then I would pull, um, a minor for each of the quarters because it's 4 quarters, and then I would pull a major for the year. and then I would just, like, see how that happens and how those cards come up
Mhm.
throughout the year. And then also doing, burning things that we don't want on bay leaves at the end
Oh, yeah.
afterwards, see, this is, let this go and let that go, and we did that in because we got a fire pit in our backyard. It just depends on if it's not raining as well over here, the what we can do it when we do it. Sometimes we
Right.
just wait until the 31st because that's also our wedding anniversary. So, but this year it's going to be a little different because we are both going to be performing a wedding.
Wow. Well, that's super special to do on your anniversary.
Exactly. And somebody was like, are you going to be okay with that? And I'm like, of course I am. I'm attending a
Yeah.
party I didn't have to throw for a bunch of people I really love. Of course, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to do that on our anniversary, but also on New Year's Eve, and it'll be lovely.
Yeah.
Share that again. And then, just the 13 cards. I don't know if you've done that one where you do a card for each month and then you pick a card and put it in the middle. I don't remember if you use all of the card. Well, I've done it both ways where you do minors for the months and a major for the middle card. And then sometimes you just do all of them and don't get crazy like that because maybe there's something important you need. So
Yeah.
don't
I do all of them.
you do all of
Um,
them?
yes. I will pick, one card for like what it was like the overall theme for the year,
Yeah.
right? That one card, and then the 12 others. And I write them on my calendar, you
Oh,
know,
yeah. So
yeah,
that you
so
know.
once I know which one, I love doing that, and I've done that for several years now, doing it that way. And I do that for several people, a few clients. They really enjoy it.
Oh,
So,
that's always fun when
and
you
I
get
think
to
it's
do that.
really interesting to see how those themes go through the month then.
Yeah.
Because it can be something supportive and kind of also can be a little, okay, watch out for that this month. And
Mhm.
yeah,
It's a good practice, and it's a good way to also open your eyes too about, okay, so you because you do it for more than one person, you can also compare how you did with their year, just if they're friends,
right,
you know, not
right.
clients, you don't do that, but you can, okay, I'm gonna be supportive of this person, and I might need support this month, and we can share,
Yeah, yeah,
which
it's a
is
good
kind of a
idea.
nice way
Yeah,
to do that as
yeah.
well.
I know. There were 2 years in a row. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it this way this year or not. Probably not. But there were 2 years that I did that, and then I also picked 12 oracle cards, and
Ooh.
then that oracle card would be what energy, what thing is going to help support the theme of that
Oh.
card for the month. And that I found really interesting to do. And last year I did it with charms instead
Oh,
of
okay.
oracle cards. But the same thing, what's going to be, because then I could have something I could slip in my pocket very easily that I
Oh,
could take with my pocket. Yeah, so
that's kind of cool.
that's another thing, another way I do it.
That would be fun to be able to layer that.
Yeah.
And now my
Yeah, we
brain's
have so many things that we have the opportunity. So
Mhm.
why not play with them and layer them and
Right.
see what works or what doesn't work? And if you try this for 3 months, folks, and it doesn't work for you, try something else.
Exactly, right? That's, my brain first thought, "Okay, I could try that with the charm thing," and then I went, "No, I'll lose those. I know who I am. And I can put them on my altar during that time if the
Yeah, yeah,
Morgan
yeah, yeah.
and Maeve will let me." Um, but yeah, but what are some other things that you like to do around this time of year between now and say, Imbolc? You mentioned in our private chat about candles?
Yeah, I'd like to make candles this time of year. Yeah, and yeah, um, yes, and one of the things I want to try to do that I haven't done for a few years is make dip candles. So
Oh,
I haven't done that in a few years. So I want to try that. So usually I'm making pillar candles or tea lights and things, and mostly beeswax, sometimes soy
yeah,
wax. I try to use natural
yeah,
waxes. I use cotton wicks. I don't. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to have, yeah, yeah. And if I put essential oils on it, it's natural organic essential oil. But usually with the beeswax, I love the smell of the beeswax. So I don't
Mhm.
add anything to that.
No, you don't need to add anything to that. Says the person
Yeah, but
every
I
year.
try to make like I used to at
Yeah.
one time try to make all my own um, like ritual candles, right? Just the
Oh, yeah.
little. but man, that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
So now
especially
I
when
try to
you're
limit to like larger size that
yeah,
are, maybe like a 7-day candle, or, three longer working candles than just the little spell candles.
yeah. And it is a lot of work because again, you also have to and with all of that work, you also have to be able to pay attention to the temperature of the wax, but also where you're at,
Yeah.
because that affects it and it makes it colder faster if you're not paying attention. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I started going more this year, time of year, for making candles as opposed to like the spring and the summer, which is when I really love to make candles, was in the summer,
Yeah.
is because I work with so much beeswax and the honey that the yellow jackets would just come. And
Oh,
I would do it out in the garage, but the
oh
yellow
yeah.
jackets would just come. I was like, no.
Right? That's fair.
So I'm doing it inside in the winter when it's cooler and all everybody else is sleeping. All the nasty buzzies are sleeping.
Yeah.
Um, so that's another reason I do. Oh man, the one year I was making mead, and
Oh,
it was the first time I did it in the garage. I'd always been doing it in the house. Oh my god, I got like so swarmed. I like turned off all the burners outside. I just like ducked into the house.
oh no.
It was not a good batch of meat, but yes, and that was one of the things that made me go,
Yes. Yes. Oh,
let's rethink the plan here, Amber.
well, it's a good thing to do though, because then you're ready to bring the light when it's time for bringing in the light.
It is. And for the longest time, Imbolc was not one of my more favored holidays.
That's fair.
But Callie, my partner, loves it and
Ah.
always has. And she's had some, part of that's because she's had some pretty significant spiritual experiences when
Mm,
she's done meditations and group ritual at that time. But because of that, it's really become very special to me
yeah.
now. So being able to make something that then we can use for in our couple celebration of that time,
Oh yeah.
it's significant.
Yeah, because again, being able to share something with your partner is a lovely opportunity,
Yeah,
especially when you're on similar paths. You may not be on the exact same path, but you're on similar ones, and that's really
right.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you, dip candles are fun, but it's better with a group. It's better with a group, and I will tell you, having done this for a few years now, or at Candlemas as or after actually, we in January, because you can like have a because you got to do the dip and then you got to let it dry and then you
Yeah, yeah.
and when you have at least 3 or 4 people, you can walk around and then like you take two and you take two, and I'll send you photos. But it can be fun because again, you're building up the way to bring the light into the house and into the
We
light.
so need some extended time together.
Yes, we do. We
You,
do.
me, Callie, dipping candles. Oh yeah.
There you go. I'll come dip candles at your house. That's fine. Um, so what are some other things that you recommend for folks who want to do more? Like, so I like to try and do silly things like make like right now I'm in the middle of crocheting Christmas green trees, Christmas trees, air quotes, because they're the pine tree. But also I've done where like I'll get a frame and I'll wrap stuff around it to make it with greenery and bringing in that smell and that scent, and also getting the cinnamon brooms to bring in the sweeping of the beauty of and bringing in that scent and the
Yeah,
pine cones.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't have access to those things,
Hmm.
or it's not practical
Yeah.
to bring those things in the house, or maybe not safe for whatever reasons.
Hmm.
So one of the things that I really like to do this time, and it's something I will kind of start in the fall, but the regularity of it picks up through the
Hmm.
winter. And y'all can make a simmer pot on the
Oh yeah.
stove, and just using things you have in the house. You don't have to go out and add, fresh sprigs of cedar or,
No.
or juniper berries, or just things that you normally can have. Probably open your cupboard. You can throw your pumpkin spice in that water. You could. but think about it intentionally. You can have, get an orange, I mean, this time of year, right? The satsumas and the mandarins all over the place, right?
Right?
You can get those slices and you can dry them if you want. You can make little garlands and dry them, and they're
Yeah.
beautiful. But you can take some of that and throw that slices of that in the simmer pot, and you can just create something that's just very warm and inviting.
Mhm.
And it just makes you. It's a it's cozy, but it's also kind of lightening and brightening
Yeah.
also. And that's bringing it in. And if you want to do things that are more um, evergreen scented, you
Yeah.
can. They've got essential oils. They've got oil blends that you can pick up and gather, and put that and just have
Yeah.
that going. Just watch it. Don't let it boil over. Just let it be in that little simmer and keep an eye on it. You might have to add water to it now and then.
Yes, you do.
Practice safety, folks. Always safety.
Always, always. Never leave anything unattended that's got fire. No, please.
But that's such a beautiful thing to have going in the house. It adds life to the house in a time where everything is brown and wet or iced over, and
Mhm.
so it just brings something different in the house. That's all.
Well, and something we do or did, and I'm thinking of trying to get Andrew to do it again, which is go get oranges and cloves. We did those as kids, and we've put them aside, and I've got pictures of me holding one up and going, "Ah," and it was like, but that was a simple thing that also brought joy and brightness into and it wasn't hard, and I could go into a cupboard and open it up, and there's cloves, and I can just stick them into an orange or a tangerine, or, and still have that feeling of brightness, and I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
so and being able to have, like, cinnamon smell is always nice, like, putting warm apple cider into a pot and just using it like a simmer pot, putting
Yes.
all your spices in there, and then just letting
Right.
that
Yep.
cook, and just being able to enjoy
And yeah,
that.
I mean, and the streaming fireplaces that you can find now are
Oh,
amazing. You get them
yeah.
with a really nice crackle to them, and
Mhm.
you
If you
know,
don't have a real fireplace, yeah, that's great. You don't need that, you just need to enjoy the sound and the feel of it all.
right, right. I knew somebody who was in the military, and I mean, out remote, like in the middle of nowhere
Mhm.
location. And what he did was that he drew pictures of a fireplace. They
Aw,
do a picture of a Christmas tree, and just different things, and hung those around.
yeah,
Um, and I think just even that, if that's all that you can do, or that you really feel like you want to do, or if
right,
those
yeah.
symbols don't ring to you, like what people will see that I have as a thumbnail on here is the Yule goat, which
Yes.
you know and they're so much fun. You can do things like that. You can just have a picture of a puppy in a Santa hat, or
Yeah,
or just a puppy running in the snow. It doesn't have to have the traditional trappings of something.
mm-mm,
Just something that honors the season and brings you joy. And I
yeah,
think that's what it is. It's that quiet time, and that releasing of maybe things that have been stagnant, or that have been
mhm,
being held on to too long, whether that's emotionally, mentally,
yeah,
whatever. Releasing those things, and airing it out, right? Bringing that, allowing that space to be filled with the light that's coming back again.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, candlelight is a wonderful thing to work by sometimes
yeah, yeah.
and just meditate.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
did, before we started, I did pick two cards.
oh,
I
okay.
picked one from the Yuletide Tarot, and I picked one from the Yule Oracle.
Okay.
So,
Well, then I will pick 2 really quickly while you talk about what you picked, but I'm only
okay.
picking from the Yuletide
Okay,
because
so I'll do Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle first.
okay.
And I got, this is hysterical because it goes to such things that we were talking about. So I got, there it
Oh,
is, right? Ringing of the
okay.
bells.
Yeah.
And bells are used so much for um, moving energy, for
Mhm,
clearing
sound
energy, and
cleansing.
clearing space, right? And it's But it could be something like, are you being called to clear out that space? Are you being called to let something go, or to banish something that's not serving you
You
anymore?
anymore. Yeah.
And banish can be a strong word, but that's really what you want to do, because it's truly something that is making you ill or making you very unhappy. You really don't want that around. You can give gratitude to it. You do it in a very loving way,
Yeah.
in a thoughtful, mindful way, but just get rid of it. And I love this because our spirits can hold those dark things too, right?
Yeah.
Like a corner of a room is a great place for stagnant energy to gather.
Yes, she says.
And, but our bodies have those little
Mhm.
corners too. So
Yeah.
yeah, just get a bell, get a pot, bang a pot around you. Clapping your hands works really well, but just
Mhm.
get that energy moving in those spaces that have gotten a little too quiet and cramped too much in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
So,
All right. All right. You're gonna make me
okay.
go. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you go now.
pick left or right.
Left.
Okay. Do I remember my left from right? Yes, I do. Oh, okay. Offerings.
Oh, oh yeah.
And again, for me, this is that reminder to make those offerings of gratitude, not just to, others, but to our gods and to our people and to our uh, on our altars. Ooh, I can talk. And just reminding ourselves to be grateful for what we've been gifted, And I will bring this up just because I still love it, and it's fact. I was given an offering from my mom, and it was something that you and I had talked about on
Yes.
when you were staying at your niece's. I said, "Oh, I think my grandmother made one of those at one time," but I thought it was gone because my grandmother's been gone since 80 something. And then I went to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, and my mom's like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I went, "Yank," because it was this blanket. And it's like, I have this gift that my grandmother passed to me
Yes.
through my mom, not knowing.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to her about this at all.
And the day that you saw that, because I was sitting on the bed and it was behind me on the bed, and
Mhm.
you were like, oh, what's that? So I held it so you could see it. But the warmth and the love that just exuded from every part of you when you saw that, and remembering that one, and even then you go, oh, I thought it was gone, and you kind of got that little sniff about it.
Yeah,
I'm so delighted that you have it now.
right? I didn't know it was, again, I didn't even know it was still in existence, so it was nice to have that. But it
Yeah.
was that offering of, okay, now what can I give to the next person and
Right.
offering to them, because this was the offering from my mom,
Yeah.
and that was great. And again, it wasn't something that it's handmade,
Uh-huh.
it's not
Mhm.
money, it's not, I don't need that. This
Right.
was perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what was
Absolutely.
your other card?
Okay, my other card from the Yuletide Tarot was the Page of Gifts.
Ooh.
And this, it speaks to uh, like an individual who's like very devoted, to what
Mhm.
they're doing, and especially devoted to self improvement and self knowledge, and and just very directed and very focused. And they'll read a lot, right? I always think of this person as somebody who you probably find in the library, and like probably almost every time you see them, they have a book either in their hand or like right nearby. Um, to the point where they can almost get so focused and so obsessed with that world that you kind of have to like tap them out. You're like, hey, let's go, real life, real life. So it's not that they're not ignoring everything that's around them, but they
No.
are so focused on what they're doing. So I think that for this time of year, it's just like, okay, yes, this going within
Yeah,
that we do, and that quietness and that solitude is important for what we're doing. And it's also that reminder to be like, hey, remember, there are these other gifts, there are these other things, there are these other offerings that need to be done by you or that are being offered to you, right? You need to
right.
interact with them and be an active part
Yeah,
of this time of year, however you choose to do that.
exactly. And that's just beautiful. All right, so the other card I got telling stories.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, that's one of my
Sharing,
favorite things.
yeah. So it's that time of sharing those stories. And I think it's a good time to do that. It's like it's when we gather with family and friends, so why not share the family stories, share the even if they're, just books that you love. That's was it's a Norwegian, if I'm not mistaken, where you or Swedish. Somebody correct me. I'm sorry. I've forgotten which
I
uh,
want to say maybe it's Swedish. I think I know what you're talking about.
where on New Christmas Eve, everybody gives they give each other a book,
Yeah,
and you spend the evening reading together.
yeah.
And I
I
think
love
that's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah,
And telling stories is sharing stories in a similar way, just orally. Instead of reading a book, you're talking about those stories that are
right.
your favorite,
No, and we all are a story. You don't have to. Oh, my family doesn't have a big story. So yeah, well, tell me
Yeah,
the story about what happened to you when you went to the store yesterday.
yeah,
What'd you do? What'd you see? What you bump into? Because this time of year was very much a time where people would gather, and it would be stories about the hunts of the year. It would be, even ghost stories because they
mhm.
would be cautionary tales.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, look, A Christmas Carol, one of my favorites,
Yeah.
um, cautionary tale,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's wrapped in this amazing ghost story. And I love that's one of the things I love about this time of year, spooky stories.
These stories. Well, and it's the best one of the best times to read all of the Poe
Oh,
stories,
yes. Oh,
right?
yes.
So not just the Raven, but also the bells. Oh gosh, there's so many. Now you made me think of Dickens, which makes me think of many years of Dickens and dressing up and having Uber Christmas, extreme Christmas, as we like to call it. But again, my question to you is, are there three ghosts or are there four ghosts? Four.
I go
Okay.
with four. I
You're
go
gonna
with
go with four?
four.
All right. There's
Yeah.
always that discussion is like, oh no, there's only three ghosts. It's like, but did we forget
But,
the beginning?
right.
So
Yeah.
I always love to have that conversation to see who remembers which and if they forget. Because again, one of the wonderful things about the Uber Christmas fair is that the ghosts wander the fair.
Yeah. I love that.
And Jacob Marley wanders the fair in chains.
Nice.
And they're real chains. At least at my Dickens fair. Let me be more specific. And I've talked to him when I was being drunk and Irish, because no one can see the ghosts but children, drunk people, or the Irish, according to the mythos of our Dickens fair.
Right.
Um, and they also can't see. Nobody can see fairies either. Those exist and float around as well. But one time I asked, "May I touch them?" respectfully, and it was like, oh, and that hit you and hit me at least with this is a real weight
Yeah.
that this person is carrying around. And
Right.
that's the whole point is this ghost is carrying the weight of their choices and their decisions and
Yes.
and being able to see that in front of me in a physical form always hits me in the gut
Right.
because it's like, okay, I don't want to, I mean, obviously the actor is doing a great job, but it's also that in person realization of we are what our choices that we make.
Yeah.
We want to carry around this weight, or do we want to shed that and be more present in our lives? And I think this is a time of year to get that introspection, to dive a little bit more because like at Samhain you went into the darkness. Right now we're in the middle of the darkness. And then for me at Imbolc, you officially come out of the darkness. But the birth of the solar child is at Yuletide, and it's the sun is coming back and all of that. But you're still kind of walking in the dark a
Right.
little bit until you get to
Yeah. Yeah.
Imbolc. At least that's for me. That's my
Yeah. No, no, I like that. I like the great. It's a great
yeah.
analogy. Yeah.
But again, this is that time of the year when I rethink of some of those things of the heavy that we carry now,
Right.
and how can we lighten that load in a good way, not just ignore it and go, oh, I don't care. Not like that, but in the, okay, so how do I address this and how do I fix it for next year so I'm not carrying that with me into the next
Right. And I think it's interesting for those of us that are witches and follow that path because technically
year? Hmm.
January 1st isn't our new
No,
year.
no.
And yet, there's something to be said about the collective energies of this time because you've got so much the world over is celebrating this as the start of the new year.
Right.
And I think that, we do a good way of honoring that. You don't want to go against the flow so much over something that is really has a lot of good intent behind it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's that newness and that start of something fresh. That's exactly it. It's like, how much of that crap do you really want to
Carry
knowledge carry
Yeah.
with you? Sometimes there are some things that it's life, and there are things that we have to deal with, responsibilities, whatever, that'll feel burden and will feel like a weight that we're carrying. And we do need to bring those over, but we can choose to bring them over with maybe a different mindset about it, or even just the acknowledgement going, okay, this is really heavy and I'm going to be dealing with this for another, 9 months, 12 months, whatever it is. And it's that reminder, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Sometimes that acknowledgement. All right. You've made it this far doing this. All right. We can keep going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting that down. That's a good idea. Oh, now I want tea.
I want tea, and I'm going to go probably light some orange and clove
Yeah.
incense or something now, because
And have something a little brighter and bring that warmth in right now because it's that time.
100%, 100%. But as always, my dear,
Yes.
I love doing this with you. I'm so glad we started doing it. I can't wait to see what we decide to share with everybody over the coming year, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, me too. And thank you, listeners, for joining us because we have fun doing this, but we also like sharing with other people. So thank you, and
Well, thanks so much.
blessed Yuletide to you.
Blessed Yule, everybody. Take care.